지금 다운로드 받으세요.
Get out there, tell people, let them know, because this is a ridiculously good tournament. We should be showing it our support. And hey, if you got $5, give them a subscription.
Yeah, it's really cool. I actually love the format for the fans.
Yeah.
You know, for us, it's hard. For the players, they got to stay here all day. They got to work through it. But it's a challenge, right? And that's really interesting to watch as a viewer, I'd say. And people have been enjoying it so far. Definitely spread the word, guys.
I've been enjoying it so much. I love this. I love that there are 30 games in a day, because normally, like on a Code A day, for instance, we might get 15 games if we're lucky. But the fact that I get to watch 30 games each Thursday right now is fantastic, and I'm going to lobby them to make you continue to cast 30 games a day every SSL day. Every day.
We'll make it work somehow. We'll do a best of 31 or something, you know? We could do that between two players.
Someone could go like 17-0 though, right?
That's true. But guys, we are going to jump into game number 2. Oh, actually, we're having some trouble with the lobby, it seems. But
I think you got to leave that game.
Okay. Working on this. We're trying to get in here with my mouse that's not quite agreeing with me. Okay, there we go.
I guess this Star League is not sponsored by something nice like Razer or whatever to give you a nice mouse. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, not quite. Not just yet. The guys, the map is ready. It's loaded up. Let's jump into Frost here between Rogue and ByuN. Loving that we brought Frost back into the pool.
Yeah.
Been creating a lot of fun games, especially for Legacy of the Void. And to intro our players, we got Rogue up at the top left in the red. Down here in the bottom left in the blue, it's ByuN, the Terran player. Gonna have a ZVT once again.
Yeah, ByuN. He's one of those guys, like...
I love that sound of disgust that comes out of your...
Well, every time I look at ByuN, I just remember... Like, when I was actually GSL quality player, he knocked me out of the finals of a qualifier for GSL, and
that's why ByuN
it was a very painful game. Yeah. It was a very painful game. But yeah, it's really weird seeing him come back, because he was like nowhere. He no longer existed. Like, he left this reality and then re-entered it later on in Legacy of the Void. And I mean, he's still playing very well. He top 4 last season, right? 4th place, I believe, or 5th place, maybe.
SSL?
Yeah.
I think it was like top 6.
Yeah,
something like that. He did well though. He made it pretty far for sure.
I think he's definitely a possibility to come out of this group. But,
he's definitely a dark horse. It would kind of be like Trust getting out of Group B for me. That would be a similar feeling, although ByuN, he has more results in general, whereas Trust is like, But I'm saying, like, the surprise factor for me would be like, oh, man, ByuN's actually playing really well today. This is really cool to see.
And I think a lot of people would like to see that out of ByuN. Like, he has a lot of fans. People love his style. I liked his style more before. We used to call this guy the Energizer ByuN because he had the longest games in GSL by far back in the day. He always played turtle style. He would never attack you. Nowadays, he's much more flexible. He can do kind of the whole gambit, but I really enjoyed him back then, when he was a turtle.
Just like you, Artosis, the Turtle Terran, but he's grown some wings and expanded in terms of what he can do, as you were saying. So.
Sounds like a Red Bull ad to me.
Yeah, man. Got to be careful with the Red Bull. We got a lot of Hot 6
a lot of Hot 6 sponsors out here. That's a fact, yeah.
But both those companies really contributing a lot to esports. So.
Indeed. Whichever one is giving more to StarCraft at the moment, though, is the greatest. All right. Reaper expand. Oh, he gets the circling. Look at that. He might get 2. 2 circlings. He's on point today, Valdez. Do you want to change your prediction?
Not yet.
Okay.
I need to see another game. But that doesn't generally happen to top level Zergs. You know, like Sue never loses a Ling, Dark doesn't lose a Ling.
Yeah, 2 Lings.
Those are all the top level Zergs we have right now. So.
You're pretty much right about that. I'm really hoping that Rogue or Impact do, in fact, one of us is right and one of them makes it out of this group, because we need some more Zergs that are like giving results in Korea right now. It's super sparse. Dark's back is starting to hurt from carrying the Zerg race.
Seriously. Yeah. And Ragnarok was trying to do something like he got to, I think he was that guy that got top 4 or top 5 in SSL, and then he came around for Season 2 and just kind of dropped the ball.
Yeah.
I don't think he made it into either GSL or SSL. So, is he actually going to lose this? Oh, man.
Nice. ByuN very on top of things. You don't normally expect as Rogue to lose an Overlord when you're peeking in right there, but Marines in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, that they were. We got another one on the way. I believe he did get that Overlord speed, so hope he can find a better angle to figure out what is going on. The build from ByuN that we actually had was double racks first and a tech lab there to get a faster stim. So he's got a lot of Marines, and they're going to have stim here pretty fast.
I got to say, I really like this build right now. We've been seeing more and more Terrans use it, where you get out with the 2 medevacs and start pressuring right away, because everyone's kind of going into Roach Ravager quite quickly, and you can get so much harassment done. I mean, after the 2 medevacs, you're going to have 2 more popping out. Sometimes we do see people follow up with a siege tank as well. It doesn't look like ByuN's going to do that this time, but he definitely has the opportunity to harass quite heavily here, and those bases are spread out for ByuN.
Yeah, let's see if Rogue responds to this pretty well. He is getting an earlier Baneling Nest, which I like. Maybe he saw the amount of Marines in the factory, and he's like, oh, I know what build this is already. So he's preparing for it. I'm not sure if he's going to have Banelings in time. He's going to try to morph some red as that Baneling Nest finishes up. Just 4. Not going to overcommit here, but he does want to have a sufficient defense for this attack.
All right now we do have ByuN stimming up. He does that scan as well, getting some creep tumors. Look at this. He's targeting some of them down on purpose. Very nice moves here by ByuN.
Ooh, trying to get the surround there.
I like that he's pushed the creep back quite a bit as well, because this type of strategy, you kind of have to keep the pressure on, because you've put so much money into having the medevacs so early. Your 3rd command center is going to be later than... Look at this. He's even going to build it out there. If this doesn't scream that he's going to have constant pressure on, nothing does.
Yeah, Rogue is going to see that, so we'll see what his kind of response is going to be here. The 4th base for the Zerg right now is not that easy to take, because if you're taking it, it's going to be either closer to the Terran and easily droppable right there below his natural, or you got to take it all the way on the right side of the map. So it's going to be very far away from the rest of your bases and hard to defend. So I'm curious to see what the decision is going to be from Rogue, what he wants to do in terms of taking that 4th base, or if he wants to stay on 3 base for a while, maybe play that Ultralist style.
Yeah, if he rushes up to Ultras, I guess that is something he could do off 3 bases. We saw Dark make it work recently.
Yeah.
You know, I would prefer to see him go for a 4th, and in fact he does, but it is that very droppable location you were talking about, Valdez.
Yeah, that it is. I love how Rogue is preparing for this. He's reading, you know, where ByuN is going to come in, but ByuN, he's doing a nice bit of damage, actually focusing down some Queens and Banelings. Look at that!
Wow, machine gun Terran over here. Calm down, ByuN, jeez.
And meanwhile, we got another drop into the back here, the natural. There are some Lings in position, trying to focus down that medevac. Actually, nice job done here by Rogue, but at the same time, that constant pressure you were talking about, it just never ends. ByuN's back in here to the 3rd base.
Yeah, he's got his Marines all over the place. Does lose this medevac, but will take down the Queen and do more damage as well. These Marines pushing into Rogue and gonna pick Queens off with ease here, going after drones as well. And as far as I'm concerned, ByuN's got this game, man. This is way too much damage.
This is just a landslide. He is really just outplaying Rogue here. Rogue struggling to get Banelings. Finally, he gets 1 hit. That may, you know, keep some of the pressure off for a very short period of time, but ByuN has got a pretty sizable lead from all of this harass.
Yeah, this is going very, very well for ByuN. Going to go ahead, drop over here. Not really watching that time, so it doesn't do quite as well, but that is completely fine. He's done his damage right now. This is looking very solid for him. He's got more SCVs than there are drones. He's got a bigger army. And what do we have for Rogue? The Spire just finished. Mutiling Bane is pretty tough to do against
yeah.
like the Void Terran right now.
And look at how much he's struggling for minerals and gas. He's struggling to just defend against the drops that are coming in. He can't afford Mutalisks right now. If he goes for them, he's going to make like 3.
Yeah, and what are 3 Mutalisks going to do? That's like it's so impotent. It would never kill even a medevac. You just get them all targeted down. And meanwhile, ByuN running into this 4th base, that very droppable 4th base, so close to ByuN's base, and I mean, nothing's going right for Rogue, man. And I gotta say, like, all the Rogue games I've seen recently are heartbreaking. This guy just has not been doing it.
Yeah, he's really getting outplayed by ByuN, that is for sure. I mean, ByuN is also playing a fantastic game. This would be hard for many Zergs to deal with, for sure. Maybe just go for the Roach Ravager style, may have a better chance against this. The Banelings that he got didn't really help. They were too slow. He got the speed pretty late. He didn't have the necessary defense at the 3rd base in time, and he really just was not able to respond to the the multiple drops that were coming in time and time again.
He's staying in this game. He's trying his best right now, but when you are going Ling Bane, there's already a problem. If you're just sitting on Ling Bane, that if you beat their army, you also lost your whole army, basically, right? You have no long-term units or anything like that. But not just that, he's got half the supply of ByuN at the moment. Oh, and look, I mean, the Liberator just wrecks everything. Like, this could not be worse for Rogue.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
He's making Corruptors right now. He's going to try some old Dark style, I suppose, but will be very good against any kind of Liberator harass as well. But yeah, kind of looking just like a lost game here for Rogue. He's trying to hold on, but now 2-2 is finishing up. And even these positions are just pretty hard for Rogue to deal with because it's so easy for ByuN to continuously drop the 4th, drop the 3rd at the same time. You can attack from so many different angles. Heck, you could even drop in the natural too.
Yeah.
You can attack at 3 different angles if you wanted to.
You could drop in the bottom right as well. He's got enough units to do it. It's not as if it would do anything to Rogue. But the world is ByuN's right now. This is going to be a very hard game for him to lose.
ByuN's got to be careful, though. He doesn't want to get too overconfident and not micro against Banes. What do you think about researching Burrow and going for the Hail Mary Baneling shot?
I was thinking about this earlier. You're completely right, Valdez. Like, that is just about with only Ling Bane composition. He may as well just go for Baneling bombs because nothing else is going to win him this. If he gets perfect Baneling connections, ByuN doesn't lose. Like, it's not that he, maybe it becomes even, but he's not going to get those perfect one. We have those Marauders up in the front, some good splitting here by ByuN. Rogue actually gets a couple good hits, but the rest of the army comes up.
I mean, good splitting, too, by the Banelings of Rogue, as you were saying, really trying to get those big hits, those effective hits, but it just doesn't matter. ByuN has too much at this point in time. Easily takes out the 4th base as Rogue is desperately trying to make a defense here. And at the same time, he's going to take a 4th, too, because why not? I mean, he's just that far ahead.
He can do everything in the whole world right now. He can tech to battle cruisers. He can, kill some of his own supply depots, whatever it is that he feels, because right now he has got over twice the army size. And if Rogue had the same army size, it's not like a free win against this army. There's a lot of Widow Mines. There's a lot of Marauders mixed in. Here we go. The Banelings rolling in.
And not really finding the hits here. Gonna scan now, clean up all that creep.
And ByuN is just piling through at this point. Rogue continues to stay in this game, try his hardest. He's getting up to Hive. Maybe he thinks if he gets into Ultras, it can turn around. It's not the worst idea.
Yeah, here come the Banelings once again, trying to roll in, and they get some pretty good hits, but it's just not enough. And GG, ByuN is going to take game number 2.
All right, so a victory for ByuN here, and this was
an
Bun's away map. Yeah, so that's an away win for ByuN, and that is a loss for Rogue.
Yeah, we got our little sheets here. We got to do our stats.
ByuN takes the lead in the group.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I mean, ByuN, we were looking at the groups. We didn't expect him to do that well. Just he's off the team now. He's teamless. He's kind of just like floating. We weren't sure exactly where he was at. But taking out Rogue like that kind of puts, I don't know, a damper on my idea that perhaps Rogue is going to get out. Yeah, maybe it's going to be.
I think that was the
instead.
weakest part of your prediction was Rogue getting out, just because the thing is, if you look at these on paper and you didn't pay attention to every Rogue game in the last little bit, you might, like Rogue is like overall. I look at this, I'm like Rogue is as good as Deer generally. Just in the last few weeks and stuff, has he looked good? Not really. Like I want him to. I want him to win.
Yeah, I kind of just tacked it up to tacked it up. Is that even a word?
Yeah.
I'm not even sure. Tacked it up
you
to.
You pinned the tail on the donkey. That.
I tacked it up to Rogue kind of just being inconsistent, right? Not doing well, and I thought maybe he'd come in here and be like, okay, I really got to focus for this one. This is my last shot. I need to be in this individual league. SSL in general is like a little bit easier than GSL, I'd say. It's a newer tournament, right? So it's, I feel like he would be more focused for this, but that game for me is just like it was a hard map, it was hard positions. ByuN really outplayed him.
Yeah, he did.
It just doesn't really speak well for Rogue.
Yeah, maybe if ByuN had chosen a different build that wasn't pressuring right off the bat, maybe Rogue would have found his stride with the macro of the Lings and Banes or something, but he fell apart basically to the pressure as soon as it started, and it didn't look very promising for Rogue. I'm hoping that he can kind of bring it back. Definitely one of the most exciting Zerg players that you can really watch. But
yeah, and I'd expect some better games than that one. I feel like that's just a really bad start for Rogue, and I hope he gets some time here to take a little break and gather himself for the next game. The other thing that I'm not so happy about for Rogue is that if he's playing like that against Terran and there's 3 Terrans in the group, probably not going to be so good for you.
We've seen a lot of these Zergs that we're used to having as top-end Zergs just fall apart against Terran. This is why we were talking about Dark so much earlier, right? Because he's the only one that's like, no, I can beat Terran. It's not that big a deal. But the other Zergs, they run up against Terran. It's like a brick wall a lot of the time. They're just they're missing something in that play.
Yeah. So we'll see if either Impact or Rogue is going to get out of the group here, because they've both shown not the best games against Terran.
Yeah.